And we are live. Um, there's always a little bit of boomerang going on around here. You just got to stop in to see what's going to happen this week. Welcome, everyone, to episode 9 of the Dojo Kun Shill Shack. This week, we have a couple of great creators on, and my guest co-host this week is the bigger, badder half of the Diaz brothers. It's Brandon. Thanks for joining me, Brandon.
Thank you for having me on. Where did I get that designation from? That's interesting.
I saw your wrestling promos and you guys in the gym, doing.
Yeah. They're a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with those.
Oh yeah, you guys do a great job with that. Obviously, it's all tongue in cheek, but it's still a lot of fun, and you guys are kicking butt over there. So you got to do what you got to do.
That's great. We live the kayfabe.
That's right. I can't wait for 6 a.m. to throw Dojo in the ring. I think that he's going to have a Dojo versus B-Rose match. We've got to get him to do that for us.
Sure, yeah. I know he loves running those things. They're always so much fun. And I was surprised the viewership it was getting, just right off the bat. People were just totally getting into it. So that thing could be really, really big.
Yeah, it's fun to see how he puts on the various costumes, like Fraga's bunny suit and Andy Smith's First Man costume and all. He does a really good job in doing those characters up. So it'll be fun to see what he does with people as he rolls them in. Because I heard too that Shelby Robertson doesn't have a wrestler yet, so we've got to see a Shelby wrestler in there soon.
Sure. I liked when he did the was it the Jack Show one, and he had Anna, but it was guy in the Stormtrooper outfit.
Yeah, he can't put female wrestlers against male wrestlers in this game that he does this on, so he had to have her as a Stormtrooper, which kind of makes sense.
But she had all the feminine moves and everything. It was really
right. He did a good job in making that work.
Yeah.
So hey, let's say hi. There's a couple people in the chat. Let's say hi to those folks. We've got the man with the most fun name in CG, and that's Pentacle.
Oh yeah.
And one of the most energetic guys out there, supporter of all things CG, and that's Comic Talk with Pops Van Zant. Pops, how are you, man? Hail. Thanks guys for being here. We really appreciate it. And let's go ahead and bring in our guests. We have, like I said, 2 guests. We've got Tom Hutchinson from Big Dog Inc. How you doing, Tom?
How's it going, guys?
Real good, thank you. And Tom is here to talk about not a comic book this time, although he's got a plethora of comic books that he could talk about. But this time, we're going to start out talking about his current Kickstarter campaign, and that is for the Critter action figure. And I've seen them before on his show. Wow, you guys are in for a treat. They are really spectacular.
Yeah, also they're pretty great. It is comic related, though. It's not. We're not just making a figure out of the blue. It is it's based on the Critter comic. So yeah.
Yep. Like this.
Oh, there you go. In hand. Nice. Right. Well done.
And this is cover B of number 18. This is by Jen. Is it Bloom?
Jen Broomall.
Broomall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she did a series of. I mean, she did tons of stuff for us, but she did a series of covers for Critter. That happens to be one of my favorite issues, actually, where Critter takes on this bad guy called Son of a Gun. So that's a fun issue to pull up. But yeah, Jen's great. She's one of Big Dog Inc.'s biggest artists. She did design work for us, all kinds of stuff. So love Jen.
Jen does a very good job. Yeah, this issue, you said it's one of your favorites. Mm-hmm. I think that it could stand in as sort of like I know you're not going to keep rebooting at number 1, but this could have been a number 1 issue because of the character development. It sort of stands on its own to introduce, like you said, Son of a Gun is in there, mm-hmm. but also it's sort of introduced more about Critter. So
yes,
it was a good one.
Yeah.
Also, too, on the show tonight, we have Stone Abdullah. Thank you for being here, Stone. Stone is the creator of Journey of the Shadow, and in this case, Darkness Falls is the novel he'll be here to talk about. And he's also got a bunch of awesome art to talk about. So hopefully you'll be sharing that with us.
It's going to be amazing. So you fellas, everybody, just hold on to your butts. It's going to be great.
Got it.
If it's anything like the art in the background.
Thank you, Brandon.
That is right. So what we'll do is we'll start off with Tom's action figures. I'm going to do a share screen, and I got to remember to share it to the. Okay, I did that, and what am I
Can I
not?
just
Oh,
say,
right here.
Tentacle Pentacle is just an amazing name.
Isn't that clever?
Who thinks of that? That's just golden.
He's an awesome artist too.
Like
Some really great stuff.
I mean, I'd imagine with creativity like that. What are you kidding me? This is sick. All right.
So, Tom, I see that this has a trailer with it. Do you want me to go ahead and play the trailer for Critter?
You can if you want. Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
It's just like a minute long. It's not super long.
All right, cool. Let me know if you don't hear audio. I think you should, though. Awesome.
I see the cat ear tie-in now. I thought you were just.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was like, Tom, where can I get some? Are you share those cat ears around?
Yeah, man. This is this was actually the ears were just sort of like. Well, we talked about it in the green room. We were talking about how these podcasts jumped up in the last couple of years. When I started, I was doing everything. I would turn my phone on and just, talk to my phone, as a lot of us do. But I started to learn all the little tricks to it. It's like, hey, you're getting feedback, you're getting reverb. Okay, let's plug some headphones in. And I would have earbuds for a while, and so on. But then I started to do like green screen stuff, and I'm like, yo, okay, everything has to upgrade. So we have the mic. I was like, I have to get good. I had like these crummy gaming earphones, and I was like, I have to take a step up somewhere. And I knew these things existed a long time ago. Sharper Image made these things years and years ago, and so I went looking for them, and they're basically gone because like Sharper Image almost doesn't exist anymore. Right. But I found these. This is actually the same design but a different brand. These are actually Ariana Grande. It's got one side. It's got her name on, and so I bought them just kind of for fun. Just to monkey around with for these podcasts. And then when I actually put them on, I was like, I wonder if they're even good. And so I plugged it in and I'm listening to them. God damn, they're actually good headphones too. So, I was like, okay, this will work. This will be fine.
Serendipitous.
It's fine. This is serendipitous. Look at the universe just coming
That's
together.
Right. That's right. And I've got Critter as she was the second comic I ever put out. So, I've always been into the Catgirl stuff way back to Catwoman, back in the Adam West days. So Cheetah in Wonder Woman, Catgirl thing has been a thing for me for a long, long time. So, getting Critter out our first year in 2010 was pretty much a no-brainer. She was the first book I started to write when I tried to figure out like how do you write comic books. That's where I started. And so I'm glad she was part of the beginning, and now I'm glad we've branched into this crazy attempt to make action figures with her.
So if you like the Cat Ladies,
sure,
and you missed your opportunity to get Siamese, there is going to be a catch-up tier on Toro Tales where Siamese is available.
That's excellent. Yeah, as soon as I wasn't putting pieces together. I have seen Siamese, so I'm aware of what the book is already. I didn't know the pieces led back to you, so that's awesome.
Awesome. Yes, thank you. Rick Saylor is here with us. Thanks, Rick, for joining us. And I see also Miss Raina's in the chat.
Miss
Very
Raina.
good to see you, Miss Raina. She's got a great book that's currently in the sign-up phase called Black Magic. And she's hitting the circuit, doing all the grind like we all should whenever we've got a book that's in production or about to be. And I think she's got over 400 signups already. So good for her for hitting the ground running. That's fantastic.
That's great.
So I wanted to ask, before we bring up your campaign again, Tom, I wanted to ask you, why is Critter called the second best superhero in the universe? Why is
Great
that?
question.
Well, there's two. There's multiple reasons, but the short answer is because I love Invincible. Robert Kirkman's Invincible. For a period of time, Robert Kirkman's Invincible was marketed as the best superhero comic in the universe. So
Okay.
while that was happening, I'm over here trying to figure out how to market Critter, and I'm like, well, if he's the best, then all I can be is the second best. And so we started to market Critter as the second best superhero comic book in the universe. And it's a great icebreaker. We were talking in the back in the green room about icebreakers at cons and stuff. It's a great icebreaker because that question is inevitable. People will wander by the booth, they'll see the comics, it'll say it right on the cover, and you can see them in their face. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't he say he's the best? And so they ask me, and I give them the answer. And the real answer is whatever you think is the best superhero comic, that's the best superhero comic. But Critter is the second best.
Okay. Very good.
Works.
Keep
The
them
logic
honest.
is
I love it.
flawless.
That is super
Flawless,
clever, I
Bob.
have to be honest.
And it fits into just the scheme of the comic too. The comic is not like a serious, heavy. It's not a Batman comic, where we're taking everything really dark and gritty. It's old school. It's 70s. It's 80s. It's fantasy. You can look on the back of the trade paperback. It's fantasy costumes. It's utility belts. It's secret identities. It's guest stars from other comics. There's other guest stars, creators that have their own superhero books they have guest appearances in the book, including Todd Knock, who was unbelievably helpful to me when I first started getting into comics. For whatever reason, I decided to just ask him, like, hey, could I use one of your wild guard characters in Critter? Like, he doesn't know me. I don't even have a book out yet. But I started bugging him about, like, hey, I just want to have like a cool guest star. And he was like, no, I don't know if that's going to work. And I'm like, it's fine. No pressure. I met him at a con. And I started just asking him questions because I was like, dude, how do you do this? Like, what's, how do you do? And he was just like, okay, stop. Come back here. He took me behind his table. He said, sit down. We're going to talk so that I can do what I'm doing with my fans, and we'll just talk. And I was like, yo, awesome. And so I took the day with Todd at his booth as he helped his fans. And as we had time, I would pick his brain. And it was fantastic. He was amazing. And then when it came time to actually do this scene where I needed this character, it was, okay, I'm going to go back to Todd. I'm going to pitch this. And one more time. Okay, Todd, so I have to write this story. If I don't use your character, I can make something up. It's not a problem. The scene will be the same. I would just love to be able to do this. I think it would be fun. I would love to promote Wild Guard, so on and so on. And so he said, well, show me what you want to do. So I wrote the scene. I sent it to him. He said, well, I'd like to change a couple of things. I said, you tell me. So tinker, did it, sent it back. He was like, okay, go. And so Lilyhammer makes a guest appearance in Critter #2, which is just unbelievable. Love Todd Knock forever. And yeah, that's wild beginnings of Big Dog Inc.
So, Tom, we have yet another connection then that you might not have known about.
Okay.
In this, in my next campaign, the one that's live right now, called Toro Tales, I have Eric Ninoltowski is doing an homage cover, and the cover he is paying homage to is Amazing Spider-Man number 297, which is Todd Knox honored to the West Coast Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So the great thing about that is there's 10 characters on it, and my book introduces 10 characters. So we're paying homage to the Todd Knox cover.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
But we're not here to talk about my campaign. We are here to talk about, I got to drop that in there now and then. But let us do this. It's because, let's see, how do I?
Skynet.
What is
Skynet's taking over? Yeah.
Might need to just refresh the page. If it
Yeah,
gets
maybe
stuck
I
on
will.
the video, just click
Sure.
a refresh and it should bring it back up, I would imagine.
Okay.
I remember when my brother and I we were doing some cons here in Chicago, and we started off in like 2011, and people were coming over to our table and like saying that we should pitch to Big Dog Inc. like our books that we were doing.
Is that right?
And yeah, and they're like, oh, you guys should go check these guys out. They're doing their own thing like you guys want to do, and they're like going off on this big start and stuff. And we were like, oh, never heard of them or anything. Like, we were super new into the industry,
Yeah.
and you know, and it's crazy that we're
That's
here.
wild. I mean, that's really wild. I mean, there's really crazy stories. Like I was at C2E2 a few years ago. Somebody bought a Critter sketch cover. They were like, I'm going to go get somebody to draw a Critter. I was like, oh, awesome, dude. Show me when you're done. So he comes back. I can't remember. This is the worst part of the story. Is I don't remember the artist that he took it to, but he took it to an artist in Artist Alley, and he comes back. He says, "Oh, he's going to do the cover," and I was like, "Awesome, show it to me later." And it's like, "Awesome." He says, and he says, as soon as he saw the book and he saw the logo Critter, that artist knew what Critter was. And this is like a Marvel guy. This was like a named dude. And I was like, how do people know what I am? Like that is so mind blowing to me. I mean, yes, we've been doing this for over a decade, but like that's still so crazy to me where like some guy from Marvel, DC, etc., like the big leagues is like aware of without having worked with me, is aware of what we do. That's so wild to me.
Isn't that something else? Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
It's awesome, man.
So let's have a look at this campaign.
30, so we are, we have 10 days left, guys. 10 days left. We did a full 4-week campaign, 28 days ish, whatever. 10 days left, 251 backers. We are 252 backers. I mean, live, we got a backer right there.
Wow.
Which was awesome.
They're stream sniping.
That's right. That's right.
I'll take credit for that.
Do it 100%. So basically our goal is 35,000. It's a really huge number. It is a number unlike we have been able to really needed to get before, but because this is such a large scale thing. I mean, we're not just making like 100 figures and we're done. This is like a full run of like 1,000 figures between two different versions, which we'll show you. So we're really, really close. I mean, we're only like $4,700 away now. Really, really close. We should have no problem hitting this goal. I would like to hit it sooner than later, so we're not like sweating on the last day. But that's, you know, we should be able to get this without too much problem. As you're scrolling through the campaign, here's just sort of the beginnings of Critter. That drawing right there is the very first ever drawing of Critter that I did in the back of business class, 1992. When I was bored out of my mind, and this is when I wanted to be an artist. I was like, I can draw comics. So I started to draw to teach myself how to do it. But I got tired of drawing the X-Men and whatever. So I was like, well, I'm going to create a character and I'll just draw her over and over and over again, you know, because they have to look the same, you know, as you're doing comics from panel to panel, has to look the same. And so I used her to kind of like just teach myself how to draw. But over a period of time, it was like, no, this is not going to work. Now I have to draw trees and cars and dogs and horses. And it's taken me too long to figure all this out with my normal life that was going on. So she became sort of like a mascot for my comic shop that I had for a while and so on. She was very back burner. But I knew I wanted to be in comics in some way, shape or form, even just in a small capacity. So I started to figure out, well, what if I could write a comic? I could probably write a comic and then get an artist to do the stuff. So I took that original design. I did some other designs just on my own because I like to design stuff. I sent all that stuff to Adam Withers, and now we're looking at that turnaround there. Adam Withers turned my basic nonsense drawings into a legitimate, you know, character design, front back turn, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, I have a real thing, and you know, off I went on the script. So that's kind of the abridged version of her backstory. And I dove into the story, started to figure out what it was, who she was, why she was, and you know, now here we are 12 years later with Critter. We have cosplayers there, you can see that come out. We've worked with some of the biggest names in the industry on this book and our other books. People collect Critter now for 12 years, and now it's action figure time. Now you're going to get into some pictures there.
So are you ready for me to go that far? Okay.
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I mean, this is what we're here for, guys. It's real honest to God action figures. These aren't just like sort of the 3D printed, like sort of standing figures. This is loose collector executive replicas. They came to me and they were like, yo, is it time to do this? And I was like, damn right, it's time to do this. So they did a complete sculpt. Everything here is brand new sculpts, paint apps, everything. This is what's called the classic blue. So this is the original costume that she started with when we first debuted her in 2012, and into her ongoing series for a few issues before we modified it a little bit. So if you want to scroll down, there is the
Wow.
modern
Right.
blue.
Sorry,
Look
right
at
click on one
that.
of those and open in a new tab. See a close-up shot of one of those.
Sure.
Awesome.
So the modern blue is a little bit darker, a little bit different. There's some white fingers, so it's just a little bit different design. But what was cool with Critter, and one of the reasons we decided to do it with her first, was the sculpting of toys is what takes a lot of money up front. So with this, we got to do a sculpt, but we could modify it through Paint app, so we didn't have to sculpt anything else. So it was like, oh my God, we could actually do 2 versions of this. So we're not selling 1,000 of one figure. We can do 500 of each. That helps the marketing of everything. It helps our sales. We don't have to literally figure out how to sell 1,000 of one figure. So the paint apps were great. Everything looks amazing. It's 30 friggin' points of articulation. It's going to come with a collector's box that you'll see as we scroll
Sweet,
down.
merciful goodness.
It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. All these pictures were done by Loose Collector, Executive Replicas. They did all photography for us to show. Like you can see, it's super posable. It's just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. So there's kind of the rough prototype of the box there. It'll have like the plastic front screen and then art all the way around it and so on. So it's a legitimate, real deal. Holy cow! There's almost Critter toys.
Oh my gosh!
On the market.
As a publisher, I've been publishing comics for about 6 years now, so I don't quite have the track record you do. I'm sitting here very jelly. I am very jelly.
I can feel the stickiness from all the way over here.
I'm like, my eyes when I saw this on your Showtime, I was like, "Holy crap, that's amazing!"
I know, right? And here's the really the wild part is way back in the day, Loose Collector, for those that don't know, they do a lot of like custom figures. So I saw what they did and I was like, I need a Critter figure because I'll probably never be able to have a Critter figure. So I said, can you get one of those Danger Girl Abby Chase figures that McFarlane did many years ago and just modify it into Critter? They were like, yeah. So there it is. I mean, this is the original Critter figure that they did.
Look at that.
As a custom way back in the day.
Yeah.
And then, flash forward 11 years later, they're like, is it time to do real Critter figures? And I was like, okay, let's dive in and let's do this. So here we are. So now we're just kind of seeing some of the stuff that we've got in here. You can buy the toy, but if you're not a toy collector, we do have comics that you can buy. You can buy all the Critter comics. We have all the trade paperbacks available, so you can buy the series if you want. If you just want to buy the first volume, you can just get the first volume, try it out. There's old variant covers, there's art prints, there's trading cards, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Wow. If you're not a Critter or if you're not an action figure collector. So there's other ways that you can go. So don't feel like it's just like, well, I don't want a toy, so I'm not going to go in. There's other stuff in there that you can try out.
And that other stuff will help you get to your $35,000 goal. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. There's tons of
Yes.
backers in here that are just buying comics, and that's all they're buying is comics. And I'm like, that's every dollar helps. It doesn't matter if you have a $25 pledge or a $150 pledge. Everything matters.
Is this right here, Tom, the Keith Garvey cover?
That is the Keith Garvey, yes. So one of the things that we did as a bonus is if you buy both figures in one pack, it's like we have 200 of these. Click, you're buying both figures. We're throwing in the Keith Garvey cover just for free. It's just, hey, thank you for going all in. So here's the bonus cover. We're only doing 200 of these, and we're already well past half gone. So if you guys are interested at all, we're well past half gone on these 2 packs.
So if you've got fear of missing out or FOMO, you better get on this.
Correct.
Yeah, hop on it.
That is going to be one of those covers that goes into collections and disappears. You just will not see it. Or if you do see it, it's going to command just stupid money. And now you're into the general pledges. So like right there's the trade paperback. That includes your shipping too. So it's not $25 for the book plus shipping. It's just $25. Shipping included. So cool. We try and keep everything really, really tight as far as shipping as best we can. Obviously international guys, we do what we can, but it's just brutal out there. But they all know that, so it's not like a surprise. Yeah. But we do what we can, and if, a lot lately. Right. Yeah. And I actually had this conversation with somebody. I was like, dude, I know this is brutal. But what we do is by the time we get to ship these things, if shipping changes, we'll kick you back some shipping. If all of a sudden it's like goes from $80 down to like, $60, we're going to hook you up. Don't worry about that. But we just have to plan for nightmare shipping as it is right now, to just make sure that we are not eating money on that shipping.
So Tom, if somebody is a toy collector, but they'd like to get all of these or all of these other items, are they all also available as add-ons?
Of course, everything can be added on. Absolutely.
Excellent.
You can go in for whatever tier you want and then add on whatever you want. Now, all of these variant covers that you're looking at, these are all very, very limited remaining copies of just archive books. We went into the warehouse. We're like, okay, what do we have like 10 or 15 of that we can just throw up here and let people get some books that they may have never seen. Very, very low quantities though. So all of the variant covers are all add-ons because there's only like 10 of them. So we didn't want to make a tier plus a couple of forget it. Those are all just add-ons. The Shannon Mayer right there is actually all gone. Those are toast.
Oh, dude, I was like, you guys, Mayer cover.
Those are toast. Well, I should, to clarify, they were toast. There have been dropouts on these campaigns, as we all know. We get dropouts, so it is feasible that one of those dropouts dropped one out.
Okay, if you guys could just hang on a second, I'm going to go.
No. Yeah, sure. We'll just hang on right
Good
here.
one to go after.
Oh man. Wow, you get some great artists on this. This Jesse Witchman.
Yep.
Also
Jesse
really
Witchman's
good.
so good.
Yeah, Jesse's been one of our guys for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Wow, look at all these. This is fantastic.
I know. Pardon me if I'm drooling, folks at home. But it's just that's the reason why the screen is so small, so you won't see it.
Chrome. Yes.
Look at this.
Yeah. So part of the storyline for Critter is that there are parallel dimension worlds, whatever you want to call it, and in each one of them there is a version of Critter. So and each one is different. So when we did this was for Critter 21 a couple of years ago. I something was going on at the time that Britney Spears was in my brain, and for some reason Britney Spears became Britney Ears, and I was like, we have to do a Critter homage to Britney, and so Britney Ears was born, and Mike Crome did it. It's fantastic. I was like, oh my god, this is unbelievable. Yeah. So this is a great cover. If you guys don't have one, grab one. There is another version of it too that was colored. This is called the Pop Cat, and the other one is called the Rock Cat. And it's like she's in black leather and it's like purple lighting and stuff. So there's a couple of versions of it. But the other one, there's only 100. So those are long gone. But we had a handful of these, threw them up there, and it's fun. Like I said, this whole book is just fun, old school superhero stuff. It's not grim, gritty, dark. It's not 80s. Like, let's give everybody guns and leather jackets. It's just, let's have fun with the superhero genre. And that's what we do. So, and these are all art prints now that you can get. 13 by 19, really big art print. So if you didn't get the comic, we do have the print available. There's Mr. Mayer's Critter print. Again, you can just buy that as its own tier. You can just buy it, or you can add it on to whatever you want.
Okay. Oh, here's an homage cover.
Yep, we did that. That was our first ever homage cover to Todd McFarlane way back at New York Comic Con days. God, that would have been like our second year in existence. There's Nia Ruffino. That was her first ever Critter cover. That original art was on eBay last year too, and I'm so disappointed that I didn't know until it was gone. There's Jesse Witchman. That was one of our cosplay covers. So Critter's dressed like Felicia from Darkstalkers. So we've done a few cosplay covers. Yeah, we've done a few cosplay covers over the years where the idea is we do the cosplay cover, and anybody that comes to the booth dressed like our characters, they get a free copy of the cosplay cover. It's just free. It's like, you dressed up as us, you take a book home. People could buy them still. We sold them, but if you were in costume as Big Dog Inc. characters, here's a free book. Thank you for your time and effort and so on. So so we've done a handful of those over there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And we're at the bottom. Wow, there was just so much there to see. I
sink your teeth into. My goodness.
I mean, this is a pretty streamlined campaign, but there is still a lot here to sort of absorb and check out. And there's so many different artists. Jose Luis, Sam Sawyer, Chris Williams, Jesse Witchman. There's the Vampire Critter right there, another one of the versions that exists. And then this one on the top there is what we call the Cat Girl of Mars. We're going to be doing a crossover with that and CB Zane's Into the Suck maybe this year. Yeah. So we got fun stuff going on. And there's our Lamborghini Girls. That came out last year. That was our homage to the 40th anniversary of the Cannonball Run. It's a horizontal cover, so you'd have to, turn it sideways. But
Yeah,
it's the girls in the Lamborghini celebrating 40 years of the Cannonball Run. We've done a lot of those crazy little homage things over the years. In 2020, it was our 10-year anniversary. At the same time, it was Showgirls' 25th anniversary, and there was nothing happening for their 25th anniversary. So I was like, well, we're going to celebrate it. Because I have a book called Penny for Your Soul that takes place in Las Vegas. So what we did is we did a pinup book, 20 brand new pieces of art. Everything was new, including Jesse Wichman's front cover. And it was all scenes from Showgirls, but using our Big Dog Inc. characters and Penny for Your Soul characters in those scenes.
Nice.
So it came out amazing. We had David Harrigan. We had Steph Wilson. We had Jen Brumal. It was an unbelievable art book. Absolutely unbelievable. And so that kind of kicked off all these little fun things in my head. I was like, how do we celebrate like all these other crazy movies and just have a good time with it?
It's a brilliant idea. I love it. It.
Now let's talk about the tiers that are available with the toys real quick. So you've got, this is the trade paperback. It looks like maybe they're going to be in dollar amount order.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay. So here's puzzle card set.
Yep. So there's the puzzle card set done by V. Ken Marion. It was a 4-piece cover set that we don't have any more of, and so we turned them into these 4-piece metal trading card set. They look really cool.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Got the book, art prints.
Yep. There's a whole bunch of art prints. Again, you can buy the first volume if you just want to try it out. Very easy. Or if you want to just dive in, there's the 4 volumes plus the spin-off book called The In Crowd. So you're getting 5 volumes in one big whoomph. There it is. Take it all. So it just depends on how deep you want to go. But again, if you just want to try it out, I'm happy to have a whole bunch of you guys just try out the first book because, everything, as we saw right at the beginning, every pledge will push us towards that $35K goal. And we're really right around the corner at this point.
Yeah, I definitely agree that you're going to get there. And here's an example. So this tier I'm looking at here on the right is the Critter Classic Blue, and that's this one right here.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And again, remember, all your prices have the shipping included.
Oh,
so it's not $75 plus shipping. The shipping is in that price.
And then we're talking modern. So let's see here.
The modern is right there.
This one,
a little bit different. The pants are a little different. The blue is darker. Just small design changes, but that was part of the comic too. So in the comic, she changed design. So we have this design as well.
All right.
Yep.
And then here's art book metal edition.
So yeah, the art book we've never done a collection of art for Critter before. We've done some for a couple other books, but we had Bill McKay do a cover for us, and we slapped that on the front of this first time ever art book. It's all Critter art inside the book, and then there's 3 versions. So there's the standard purple version that Bill did. There's a yellow holofoil version, and then there's like a gray steel version that we're going to print on metal. And those are printed to order. So if we get orders for 8, we're making 8. So if you want, super limited stuff, we've got super limited stuff.
I guess so. Yeah, that would be very limited.
Hail the Russian bot.
No, we got a Russian bot again?
Yeah, again. With all the tensions going on, we're the ones that attract the Russians. It's weird.
YouTube loves the Russian bots.
Man.
And then here's the action figure pack he was talking about.
Yes, so it's both figures together, and you get that Keith Garvey cover. And again, there's only 200 of them. Let me see exactly where we're at right now. We have...
Looks like it says 100 backers.
Holy cow, yeah, we have 100 backers.
Wow.
Which means we have 50 left in that tier because we put 150 in the tier, and then we had 50 as add-ons. So we've already had a whole bunch of add-ons as well. So we're definitely over the halfway point at this point.
Okay. Fantastic. Let's go up to the top here and see if we got you any more backers.
It's just that easy.
I was curious.
Just refresh and there's more, Always just
you just refresh it and then you get like 15 or 30. Oh, okay. We
Don't
have
you know
the
how-
one stream.
Yeah, don't you know how Kickstarter works? You just refresh and get another
Yeah,
voucher.
that's it.
Oh, okay.
It's like magic.
Awesome.
Refresh it every 10 seconds. That's the rule.
All right,
Wait,
great.
there's a question in chat
Is there?
from Rick
Let me go
Rick
over to
Saylor.
that then.
about campaigns.
Is
Oh,
it
any
this
chance to
one
go over
here?
to Indiegogo? I don't know. This is our first time doing a toy. So I have all sorts of bumps in the road that I have to smooth out before I can ever even figure out if this will move that way. I would say at this point, no, but if we get it done, we sort of then have proof of concept that we can do this, which is going to open the doors for us to do, our other characters. Executive Replicas is already like, well, what do you want to do next? And I'm like, yo, let's do one.
Whoa.
Let's do one.
Oh,
But
hold up now.
but we're so close that they're like, look, you're gonna get this. Let's just start to plan what we're gonna do next.
hungry.
And so we've already started on the next one. Okay. So having known now kind of, okay, we have a system for this here on Kickstarter.
Right.
We at that point we can say, okay, now we know what to expect on Kickstarter. We understand all of the little, let's go left, let's go right. What kind of products are people looking for? That's when we can expand out to another platform if we want to do that. So for this character, probably not, just because it's sort of a contained thing. It's an experiment for us. But once we kind of understand it all, then we can definitely say, okay, let's look at Indiegogo and introduce it to that audience too, because we're well aware that Indiegogo has really a very different audience than Kickstarter does. There is a little bit of Venn diagram overlapping, certainly, but there is very much a different crowd there. Each one, one is Sony and one's Panasonic. It's just what it is. People like the brand name. Go where they
When's
go.
the last time I heard Panasonic?
I know, right? Like Sony and Apple or something like Panasonic.
I've been JVC myself.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right.
I still use floppy disks for those at home. Floppy disks are very efficient. Very efficient.
Yeah. So the answer is no now, but future, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of folks who will back one or the other platform exclusively too.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, we're well aware of that. I mean, listen, I've been doing crowdfunding now on Kickstarter for, oh my God, like 6 years. So I'm not just crowdfunding. I'm a student of what it is and how it works and why it works. And I'm not saying that I got all the answers. Look what Brian Polito does. I don't have all of those Brian Polito answers, but we've created a system for ourselves that works.
Mhm.
And we know that we can come in and say, okay, this is what we do. This is our book. This is the variant covers. This is the extras and so on and so on. And we can kind of say, we know we're going to land in a general realm of backers, a general realm of funding dollars. And we know that wherever we start, when we do the subsequent issues, we always go up. Like we just did Legend of Oz last year. We did 3 campaigns for the Legend of Oz last year. Each one went up. And the last one that we did in October was our second biggest campaign ever.
Wow.
Even though when we started, we weren't there. So there is growth as you move up. And we kind of have done it enough now that we can see those little trends and we understand how they work. So the next step for us is, okay, we know how Kickstarter works. Let's let's open up the audience and let's go look at what Indiegogo does. Cause I know there's plenty of campaigners that do both. I know Billy Tucci uses both, et cetera. So there's no reason not to use both, but you have to be prepared for the audience differences and what they might like and not like. And the system differences are different too. So like all the images sizes that we use for Kickstarter, those image sizes don't work for Indiegogo. So you have to it's like double the work. But if you're ready for it all and you're like, okay, we're going to attack Indiegogo now, then you can be ready for it and you can roll with it. So we're on that cusp, and I've watched how it works. We just have to, I do a lot of this myself, really. I don't have a team. This isn't like Coffin where I have like 12 dudes helping me do this. It's like, this is the Tom show. I write the books, I edit the books, I art direct the books, I sell the books, I make the Kickstarter campaign, I do all of the images in the campaign, I do those videos, I sell the books. I have a dozen boxes, post office tubs downstairs that I package the books and I ship the books and I hand them to the post office guy and say, I'm sorry, here's 600 packages, but they have to go out today.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so it is a Tom show right now, sort of out of necessity. I do a lot of bouncing back and forth, and I can't, like, I haven't been in a place to like build a team, but I'm kind of, that's the next step for me, is infrastructure. It's like, okay, I got to stay right where I am at. I got to do all this. I got to get people to help me ship. I got to get people to help me do the things that aren't the creative side, because I'm the only one that can write. I can't say like, hey, come write my comics so I can ship books. No, you're going to ship the books. I'm going to write the comics.
Right.
And so that's kind of 2022 for us, is building infrastructure so that we can increase speed, increase efficiency, increase productivity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So,
okay.
And Miss Raina, I saw your your question about Twitter. Yeah. So on Instagram and Twitter, we're the same thing. It is BDI Comics. Twitter and Instagram are the same thing, BDI Comics. And if you're on Facebook, you can just find me on Facebook. I'm there. There's a Facebook page for Big Dog Inc. You can join us there as well.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Tom. Let us take a look now at Stone's work, and let me see if I can do this right. So if I go to...
Just got to refresh the page, and it's magic. It just pulls right up. That's the magic of Kickstarter. Really cool stuff, I got to say, Tom. That's really freaking
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We try hard. We're not perfect. I keep saying me. It's me. Because literally, I just told you I do everything. I'm not perfect, but we have fun with it. I think our fans have fun with it, and that's really the goal.
That's amen. And you know what? And I'm guilty of saying the same thing. Because I think it's just like me and all the other characters in my head.
That's right. Always sound better.
You know what I mean? It sounds better. We say we, like, oh my gosh, it's a team.
Yeah. Oh, you got a lot of like-minded people that are pulling in the same direction. That's awesome. I'd love to be part of we.
I am we. You are me. I'm like, we're all the same. All right, go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
Okay. It's quite all right. That's part of the fun of the streams. You never know what the guests are going to do or say. So, and we don't have to worry about a dump button like when I was in radio. So we're good. All right. So yeah, let's have a look at Darkness Falls. It's fully funded, which is awesome to see. Do you want me to go ahead and hit the trailer?
Yeah, go ahead and hit it, man. Smash that button.
Let's do that. Wow, nice.
Conquer yourself to conquer your enemy. That gives me chills. I wrote that, guys. I wrote that. It's kind of like Tom was saying, it's a one-man show. You know what I mean? We haven't scaled up to be like, yeah, we got everybody doing this. I got my man like Bobby T. He's on emails and PR. No, it's Stone.
No, if you contact managers.
No, yeah, man. Who's answering DMs? Somebody's asking you for feed pics. I'm like, bro, I'm just this is a sci-fi book. Why are you in my DMs about feet? For crying out loud. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, talk to us about this campaign.
Darkness Falls, my friends. My gosh, it's the second installation in the Journey of the Shadow series, and I suppose I'll go into a little bit of an origin story and a bridge origin story. I wasn't originally like a sci-fi author. I wanted to write a long time ago, but I had competing agendas within myself, conflict of interest, because I really like physical sciences. So I wanted to become a professor, et cetera, et cetera. So, after some ruffian days, a different me, of some ruffian days in the music industry, then I got into college and, worked my way up into grad school. Did some stuff at NOAA, NASA, National Center for Atmospheric Research, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I the last leg I worked in research was an arm of research and development for the Department of Defense. But then the whole time I'm thinking about Journey of the Shadow, it was wild. You know what I mean? Because the more stuff I learned scientifically, the more I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if we threw this in the story? And then, the universe just keeps expanding, like dark energy. And so I was just like, you know what? Maybe we should do something. But then I doubted myself. And so my sister in 2016, it's summer and I'm in, I guess in my second year of graduate school, and she kicks me in the back of the leg, holding her 1-year-old son. Yeah, I'm going to talk about you, Sakina. She kicks me and she's like, I'm tired of you just sitting there, just writing that, and you're not putting that out for anybody to look at. You need to publish that. And I just said, oh, what are you going to say? You're wrong. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of, ninny? So I went to publish Journey of the Shadow, Volume 1. And that was August 2017, slap it up on there on Amazon. I was like, oh, but no one's really going to like this, Yogi. And then I was wrong. People started proving me wrong, man. They're like, man, where did you, is there more? I was like, oh, I mean, there is, but I guess I should get to work on it.
There sure is. So let me just.
I was like, let me write down. What did you say again? Oh, that sounds great. So, when you go to tables and stuff, and people they come all excited at you, that gets you motivated. So, what was called Volume 2, it evolved into Darkness Falls, and that was like after a lot of stuff happened in 2020. You know what I mean? There's a lot of onset onto humanity, a lot of existentialism. We had a lot of time to think and reflect, or regret, what have you. And there was a lot of tragedy, et cetera, et cetera. But then what I took a look at in terms of what the story of Journey of the Shadow was about, I said, man, there's a lot more potential than I thought was there. So I was like, well, all of a sudden, Volume 2, became from like 100,000 words to 175,000. I was like, oh, well, here we go. And then we finished the manuscript. And then we launched the Kickstarter. And suddenly, people are just blowing me the freak away. So right up front, thank you guys for your support. The Kickstarter campaign itself, I got a couple of words for it. # Unleash Your Goddess and # Go Bigger, Go Bigger. Much like Tom's campaign, like as the further you go in the campaign, the more stuff you get involved in, that sort of immersion factor. The thing that I was trying to accomplish here was these posters, and I'm glad you stopped at Best Girl. Ooh, my goodness. A short story about this lady right here. I needed a dark elf. Everybody was like Warcraft, et cetera, right? But then a long time ago, I saw Metal Gear Solid 2, what's it? Sons of Liberty, right? And Hideo Kojima was like one of my favorite, who didn't like Metal Gear Solid, right? But then I saw Fortune, one of his characters. I was just like, man, what if she were an elf? I was like, hey, that's my character. Woo-hoo! And then I giggled myself to sleep back in 2001, right? And so here we have Best Girl, Arlette's First Lieutenant Arlette Salvatare, and it's illustrated by Shikari. And Shikari really blew the back of my face out with his illustrations, because what you see in the campaign is literally how I've looked at my characters for 20 years. To be honest with you, that's how she looks like in my head. But then aside from that, I wanted to do something different. Like you see these posters behind me, the 22-inch by 28-inch posters. And the immersion factor that I was thinking about philosophically was like back in the days, Tom was preaching the gospel. We want to get like when it was fun, like when we had Blockbuster, you had Radio Shack, right? But you still have posters of, I don't know, Iron Maiden, Van Halen. You had posters of Jurassic Park and stuff on your wall. And then you woke up and you saw all this cool shit on your wall. And you were just like, man, that's so cool, right? And that level of immersion I wanted to reintroduce into my project, Journey of the Shadow. So I know my head's like blocking. See, you're quick. You're so quick. Look at that. The fastest hands in the northeast. Is that right, Brian?
Midwest.
Fastest. My bad, folks. Fastest hands in the Midwest. All of these posters you see are available on the Kickstarter, like the Safe for Work, like all the Safe for Work versions. Funny story, I had like the lingerie versions up on my wall, and then the maintenance man came by and he was gravitating towards them. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but then turned into a great conversation because then he bought a book. I was just like, hey, it works. But just right off the bat, these Safe for Work versions of the posters are immediately available as add-ons on the Kickstarter campaign. But if you want to get like the spicy stuff, your capsaicin level is too low, my friends, then hashtag go big or go bigger. Then you unlock Chocolate Angel at $180. There's the official Darkness Falls poster that was done by a Brazilian. These are non-sequential artists, right? And I reached out to all of these fantastic people that just, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. They just see your vision. I don't know how illustrators do it. That's what I'm saying. I'm a writer / musician. Like my brain is trying to draw a circle the same way each time, and it doesn't happen. So when Tom was mentioning you got to draw the character the same way, I was like, that's a tough job. How do you guys do it? You know what I mean? So, oh my gosh, look, that's Goddess Evelyn, aka Angel Cake. These names, these nicknames, I'm going to use them in the broadcast because the main character, Commander Sumisu, he gave him these nicknames because he has affinity for desserts. This is Angel Cake, Goddess Evelyn, Mother of Souls, second dimensional overseer of the universe. You can get, like I said, Safe for Work version of the poster, but if you want to unlock the spicy version, you go up in that pledge tier. But my goodness, it was done by Shikari. And another funny story, like he did this artwork in like 3 days. I don't know how he did it. But we were constantly in like 3 days, but we didn't sleep because we were so excited. We're just like, oh, I'm like, he's like, well, look at this concept. I was like, yeah, that's it. He's like, okay, well, give me a minute. And then a minute turned an hour. I was just like, and he says, well, look at this. I was like, holy crap, that's it. That's Goddess Evelyn. You know what I mean? So we were like fangirling / fanboying, but then it got even worse. We got to Goddess Rosaria, aka Cinnamon Roll. And like she's big sister. That's big sister of the Novum goddesses, right? That's the mother of knowledge, the first dimensional overseer of the universe, and progenitor of Ordovicia. I said to Shikari, I said, this is the MILF of MILFs, okay? I said, before you had the first MILF, like that's the first one. He was like, I get you. He calls me Journey. He's like, I get you. And so he comes up with this. I was like, that's her. This is the lady I had a dream about 22 years ago. Right. And it just hit me. I woke up with chills. I was like, people have got to know about this goddess, this extra dimensional being that influenced my life. Yeah, you can keep scrolling, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's what? I'm sorry.
No, these are characters within the novel, right?
Yes, these are. These are.
This is like a novel, right? Not like a graphic novel.
This is a novel where there's
so these are where you get to see these characters. Like you're not just making stuff up in your own head. Like these characters are there for you to see now, while you're reading this novel and stuff. That's really cool.
Thank you, Brandon. That last poster you saw with the lady with the eyes, if you could scroll back up for just a minute, my friend. Yeah, Kat Chan, another phenomenal illustrator. She's from Iran, and I credit her for illustrating the goddesses first. And then every other artist, they just kind of, they stood on her shoulders. But just for going up in all these pledges, guys, you're just going to get this naughty version of the Shadow Maiden for free. Like thank you guys for supporting us. And I call her the Shadow Maiden. She has a name, but when the campaign ends, we're going to reveal her name. Okay, so you guys don't send me angry emails or DMs or questions about feed pics, please. I'm not going to bring out the mineral oil. All right, that's later. But it's all going to be displayed in these beautiful 22 by 28 inch posters. And like I said, in the gloss finish. Okay. Let's keep rolling. There's this huge pledge. I was like, well, what if they got everything? What if people just wanted the whole shebang? Well, there it is. We call it the Sunset Commander tier. $300, you get literally everything. We had to restrict it to United States because shipping internationally is a nightmare. Oh my God. When I went to the United States Postal Service, right? And I was saying, hey guys, I've got these materials. I got these big posters. Here are the containers. What are the rate? And then turns out UPS was cheaper than USPS. Now you don't really get like a choice on who's going to handle your packages better. You know what I'm trying to say? You guys know what I'm saying. So I ended up choosing. You see that? I ended up going with UPS because they charge just a little bit less in terms of all these large packages, right? Because if you get this tier, you're going to get what, 10 posters, 3 books, meaning you get volume 1, Darkness Falls, signed at no additional charge. You get the first edition art book. What do I mean by first edition? When we had like the non-sequential artists like Freddie, my man from Colombia, and my man Joe from Canada, and Aya from Russia, when she was when they did all these illustrations, we slapped them all together in this 20-page 8.5 by I think 11 art book, and we made the first edition. That is the volume 1 era of artwork that I released, right? And that's like available in my store. But I was like, these guys can get it on my Kickstarter. So you're going to get 3 books, the Cat-Chan calendar, and all those the naughty and safe for work posters, plus the official Darkness Fall posters. You get like a whole shebang. I hope UPS is not going to cry when I walk up to them. I'm just going to offer them a donut. I don't know. It's still like COVID time, so maybe they want donuts.
I hope you'll have enough packages that they will cry.
They'll be crying all
Are
over.
you going to pack it yourself and bring it in, or are you going to make them pack it all?
I'm going to pack it.
Okay.
Pack it.
So they should be fine. They should be fine.
See, they're fine.
Yeah,
they're fine.
That's their job.
Still want to make. Thank you. See that, Tom? It's a freaking job. But if you guys don't want to go that big, right? Like I was saying about the posters, and you want like something in your hand, and all this artwork is exclusive, right? Like the goddesses you see up here, they're not available in my store. This is exclusively for the Kickstarter. You can we have these bundles. You can get them as a 5x7 print. The safe for work bundles like $15. Not safe for work is $20. But here's where the part where I get really excited: the backer goals. Man, free shit. I love it. You guys, just for supporting us, we want you to have stuff for free. So at 50 backers, you guys are going to get this bookmark front and back. And this is by Cat-Chan. That's the mother of souls. She can have, by the way, my soul for the low price of absolutely free. I just want to put an asterisk on that. And this, at 100 backers, if we get there, you guys get this 4x6 print by Aya. This is of the elite mercenary Tatiana Ordovisha. Geez, oh my goodness, that's one heck of a lady. She packs a punch, like 237 terawatts. And so I would just like to note that in Journey of the Shadow, when you get into the manuscript, instead of like you watch shows like Bleach or Dragon Ball Z, and I remember watching that as a kid, I was like, why are there unitless numbers? Remember, like I'm a nerd. You see this shirt? The Star Wars, the force equals mass times the derivative of the vector of the velocity over the derivative of time. I want a unit. So I was like, well, why aren't we using the metrics? That's not. Anyway, at 150 backers, you guys get this beautiful artwork. First Lieutenant Arlette Salvatare. This is by Sophony, the Brazilian artist. I call this Arlette's day off. Like you see the spaceships, and there's a little bit of Akira with a bike going on back there, and she's wearing this gorgeous sundress, and there's flower petals. I'm like, my gosh, you guys are going to get this for free. And if we hit it, I'm just saying if, guys. Aya sent me this artwork like a week and a half ago. And this is the Shadow Maiden. Like she's holding a literal supermassive black hole with an active accretion disk. Like that's literally called a quasar, quasi-stellar radio source, right? And then she came to me and she was like, Stone, did I screw up on the concept? I'm like, what do you mean did you screw up? This is beautiful, you know? So, and that's an 8x10 print. So if we get to 200, that's an 8x10 print that I'm going to shove in your box. That's 200 people get that for free. Stretch goals, guys. We just crushed this one, so thank you so very much. This is Goddess Rosaria in that hot red lace. I'm not going to reiterate the conversation, okay, that took place about the lingerie choices, but I will tell you this: it was amazing. We crushed that one. Thank you, guys. And Angel Cake, Mike, we're I think $33 away from our next stretch goal. So I think we can make it happen, especially by this weekend. We unlock Angel Cake and that gorgeous white lace lingerie, because Shakara was like, okay, what do you want for the Mother of Souls? I was like, what do you think? And so I did a coin flip on like purple or the white. And he was like, well, the purple, we've got a lot of that with the gems and stuff. He said, let's do the white. I was like, yeah, try it out. And then when he sent to me like 3:00 in the morning, my time, I was just like, man, that's awesome. And then, fangirling. Oh, it gets spicier. There we go. Elite Mercenary Tatiana. It's just that's her. Like wow.
She's not quite as blue here.
Well, there's a variation of blue that I've discovered with all the artists I've worked with. And then I tested like multiple colors with Shikari. He's like, well, how blue do you want her? I was like, well, what do you think like an alien blue would be? He's like, well, let's try this out. I was like, that seems like an alien blue. Oh gosh, Honey Bunches. Okay, so that's Blueberry Muffin of Murder, right? That's her nickname. This is Honey Bunches, open parenthesis, of murder, close parenthesis. This is Princess Izuka, Crown Princess. She's Imperial Commander of the Devonian military. Remember, these are class 4 civilizations out there in the galaxy somewhere. And you get her, and it's freaking phenomenal. Oh my gosh, you unlock that at 7K. But the big one, you remember we were on the show the other day, and we had left it up, and somebody was like, they were like, my God, mommy milkers.
Yes. Someone's wife walked through and said,
yeah, they walked through. They're like, wait, what is going on? Guys, if we hit it, because I was talking to Shikari, I was like, Shikari, this is a MILF. I said, let's go for it. He said, let's do it, Journey. And so if we hit it, guys, we hit 10K, you'll get this, and she'll be able to provide you lots of sustenance. I'm just going to leave it as is. You can read.
Yeah.
There's that's basically about the end. And that's my friend's Kickstarter. So if you guys go to my Kickstarter page, check him out. His name's Lloyd, really great guy.
Okay.
That is basically streamlined my whole of Kickstarter. The tiers, oh man, they're structured like, you know, how like a military ranking or whatever, you know, Sunside Private, Sunside Specialist, Sunside Corporal, that sort of thing. But there are, you know, variations in 2 of the upper tiers, Sunside Lieutenant, Sunside Second Lieutenant. And Sunside Lieutenant, you're going to get the Shadow Maiden, and which is Buttercup, and you're going to get Chocolate Angel, which is Lieutenant Arlette. And then Sunside Second Lieutenant, you get Goddess Evelyn, Goddess Rosaria. So just, you know, pay attention to the language. And I put the large asterisk up there. You guys watch out. Okay. You know, you got to make sure you know what you want. And so that I noticed a lot of people just go for the commander, Sunside Commander tier, because they're just like, dude, I want all this artwork. I was like, oh, well, I mean, thank you. I appreciate it.
Great.
Hope you thank you. I said, I hope you have enough wall space. That's all I'm looking for. But I think the add-ons, like I said earlier, the safe for work versions, and we try to make it dynamic. I try to make it dynamic for the you know, whatever you want to pledge. If you want to get the 2 books, you've never heard of Journey of the Shadow, not a problem. You want to go to Sunside Specialist, get the 2 books, and get 1 or 2 posters, that's fine. Slap them on as an add-on. And if you just want to get the 2 books and get the 5x7 prints, that's fine too. It's fine. Like Tom said, every dollar counts. And I've seen a lot of people make a variety in their decisions, and it's got us to this point. So 17 days left, and you guys are proving me, you guys are proving me wrong. Like they like Journey of the Shadow. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a nice surprise. I guess we should just keep going. And you keep writing down notes, right? Like, yeah, keep going. Yeah, that sounds great.
Let's do a refresh here and see where we stand. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
We're still $32 away.
It's almost like not Press Your Luck, not Wheel of Fortune, but The Price is Right when you get to the wheel. And they're just like, oh, almost had $1. Oh gosh. But instead of me being preachy about like going to all the characters' backgrounds, because I don't think we have time of the show for that, Brian. So I'm just gonna
we're about to wrap it up. You're right. Yeah.
So I'll just say, if you guys want to know all the backgrounds and stuff about any of these phenomenal characters, man, that have lived with me over the years, just go to journeyoftheshadow.com. It's all there.
Excellent. And so what we'll do now is we're going to do a quick round robin. So we'll ask where we can find you in the socials. So we'll start with you, Brandon. If you could let us know where to find you in the socials, and then quickly plug whatever you're working on right now.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on. It's a cool panel we have here. You guys can find me anywhere, basically everywhere at Zaid Ninja, or you could go to zaidcomics.com and see all of the projects that we have up, or any of my cool pinup art or anything, traditionals and prints as well. On there, we have the revamped website now for zaidcomics.com. The store is directly on the website, so you don't have to worry about going to like Etsy or anything like that too. So go and check that out. And right now we have on Indiegogo, if you guys haven't seen, we have the Lost Pages 2. We just crossed $30,000. So it was our biggest stretch goal. So now on that, we're going to have the gold foil spot cover for the Lost Pages 2. So that's a big one for us. And
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And we'll be working on some other stuff soon, basically just drawing chicks all the time. So keeping up with that, that's
why I thought you'd be great on this panel. You can appreciate the
I love the ladies, of course. So in fact, we just got in one of our tests for a thing that we did. It was we were testing out this 3D artist. So for his first test, I took one of my pinup drawings and we made it into a statue. So he sculpted out the statue for us, and then I painted it up.
Wow.
And totally custom made as a nice test. So now he's going to be working on some more stuff for Zaid Comics in the comic book realm, like a bust for some characters coming up and some other statues as well.
Very cool. We got to watch for that. I can't wait to see those things on your stream. That'll be fun to see.
Yeah, they're going to be crazy.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Hey, Tom, why don't you tell us where they can find you in the socials?
Basically, here's everything you need to know. It's right there. Wherever you go, just type in either of those things, and you'll find us. But Facebook, I'm it's Tom Hutchinson. It's Big Dog Inc. Twitter and Instagram, it's BDI Comics. We do have a Patreon as well, so Patreon.com/Big Dog Inc. And that's where we hang out. But Facebook is kind of where I live. So if you want like really super fast on the spot information, or if you need to message me or something, I'm there basically 24/7. So that's the easiest, fastest way to find.
So that's the place. Yep.
Okay, that's great. The place.
All right. Thanks, Tom. All right. How about you, Stone?
Oh, my friends, you can find me Facebook. It should be at Journey of the Shadow. Those are a little snafu that we talked about, Brian, the other day.
Right.
It's like Facebook pulled a sneaky on us. I'm like, what are you doing, Meta? Oh, they're Meta now. My bad. But at Journey of the Shadow, Instagram at Journey of the Shadow. The Twitter's different. The official JOTS, because somebody took Journey of the Shadow. I don't know what they were trying to one up me or something. I don't know. There's nothing posted on there. But I was like, okie dokie. Well, but you'll find all the information there. And if anything fails, go to Google, type in Journey of the Shadow. We're popped up as a business. You'll find us.
Excellent. Oh, hey, real quick, I want to say hey to Shelby Robertson, who is in the chat. Thanks for being here, Shelby. Appreciate it.
Shelby.
American Discord. All right, everybody, thanks so much for being here, whether you're watching this live and you're in the chat, or if you're watching this later on the replay. We appreciate all of you, and make sure you check out these great projects and hit them up on the socials. And we will talk to you next week. Next week, we're going to have a special show that's going to be a best of 2021 in CG. Got a great panel coming on, and they're already sending me their picks so that we're going to have it all, in slide forms. If you remember my previous shows, I always like to have those slide presentations. We're going to go back to that for a week. So hope to see you there. Thanks, everybody. Hail.
See you.
Yeah, guys.